Milwaukee's fashion innovators are building on its storied leather crafting and garment making heritage, quite literally from the ground up. Known for blending blue-collar craftsmanship with innovative streetwear and an emerging reputation for training the next wave of designers, Milwaukee might not be the fashion hub you'd expect, but maybe it should be. Join me, David Caruso, as we meet the style makers looking to the past to see into the future of fashion. Let's go! You say that sneakers have a story. How did you get into the sneaker business and why?
This guy that I knew, man, at the time, he was like, yo, I think you should open up a sneaker store. And I was like, what? And so they pitching me all these different ideas about where the store could be. So he's like, oh, we gonna, Shake, you're a high profile guy, so we can put it in New York and we can bring Jay-Z and 50 Cent to the grand opening. And I'm like, I'm going, okay. Then the other person is saying like, okay, if we put it in the West Coast, we could bring the Game, Snoop Dogg. And I was like, I'm listening. And so then my friend John, he said, Shake, why you not saying nothing? And I said, because it's not going to be in either one of those places. He said, well, where's it going to be? I said, it's going to be in Milwaukee. And they was like, but why Milwaukee? And I said, why not? The city is so underrated. People here, they like good shoes. They like limited stuff, quality. And I think those type of things would do well here. And it's been doing well. Like, I've been here almost 12 years now. Wow.
Carrie.
Hi.
It is so good to see you.
Good morning.
When you decided to start Leela here in the historic Third Ward, you said it really was more about helping to create a neighborhood.
When I moved to Milwaukee in 1995, I had a budget and there wasn't a place to shop for that. We deserve to feel special, even if we can't spend a lot of money. You didn't know what you might find when you come down to the Third Ward. It had a vibe of discovery. I felt a responsibility to be part of the discovery for people. I just love being part of that story, and I think a lot of people kind of wear on their sleeve a little like, yeah, we're just the, beer and brats town. And then like to surprise people with, yeah, we're more than that.
You really started your business selling out of your basement on eBay. Tell me a little bit about the journey.
Yeah, I built it from the ground up, or, like you said, the basement, lower than the ground,
Yeah.
So I was in there next to my washing machine and dryer and, and shipping orders out on eBay. And I was addicted with that satisfaction of connecting that product with the person.
Lynn, your school is a very inspiring space, but let's go back to the start. How did this all come to be?
My grandmother was a very formal person, and she graduated college in 1920 as a home ec teacher. She taught me to sew in a very formal way. And that allowed me to do two things. Start the idea of, pursuing fashion as a career, but also learning to pursue it as an academic career, to be a teacher or an instructor in it. So it gave me the career.
That's so cool. And really, she is the namesake of the school, right?
It helped that she had a cool name. It really did. My grandmother was named after a city in Greece, and I've always thought it was a beautiful name.
I would start documenting my journey on Instagram, and somebody reached out and said, hey, we want to have you be a part of an event. People were just really interested in what I had to offer, my selection of products and the price point as well. So from that point, it was people shopping at my house or I find somewhere else. So having that ribbon cutting here after we purchased the building and renovated and opened up our business, it meant a lot to have my family there and have the community be a part of it.
As a Black woman from the 1800s to the 1900s, my grandmother, of course, would be overwhelmed because you're talking the smack dab middle of Jim Crow. So think about my grandmother went from Marshall, Texas to Tuskegee, Alabama 4 times a year to get her degree, which was life-threatening for her. So how bad do you want it?
Right.
It's an inspiration point for young people.
Clicks. Such an interesting name. How did the name come to be?
I wanted the name to be Gumbo in the beginning. I wanted it to be Gumbo because I felt like Gumbo was a little bit of everything, right? So you got a running shoe, you got a basketball shoe, you got a boot. And then I started to think about what is like fashion streetwear to me, right? And so it's like, that's a marriage, right? So it's the CL, I took the CL out of clothes and the ICK out of kicks and made clicks.
So clothes and kicks.
There you go.
Became clicks.
There you go.
That is so neat.
When I opened this, I was a little terrified of what I didn't know. But in hindsight, I think what I didn't know made it so that I created my own reality of what Leela was going to be. I didn't know much about fashion. I knew what I liked. So I had parties at people's houses. I would go in and I would say, let me visit your closet. And I would take things, and that's what we sold. So the first 3 years, it was 80% consignment.
While at Leela Boutique, some guests rolled into the store to check out the collection, so Carrie rolled out the red carpet. We were treated to an impromptu runway show of friends, fashion, and fun. Hop on over to visitmilwaukee.org for an all-access pass to the show.
My favorite locally made treat has to start with pretzels from the Milwaukee Pretzel Company. And also on the West Coast, where I come from, custard is not a big thing. When I came here to interview, my wife came out. She liked it so much. She had Kopp's custard 3 times in one day. She hasn't done that again. Yeah. You know, a hidden gem, I think, is right here on Marquette's campus. The Joan of Arc Chapel, circa mid-1400s. It's just really beautiful. Good place to go for a walk, but also a good place just to stop and reflect. Milwaukee, it is a small city, but it has a big city feel. So it has all of the amenities that you'd want without the downsides of a large city. The other thing is just about the people. Milwaukee truly is Midwest nice. It's the nice of the Midwest nice. Like, people here truly want to ensure that you're having a good experience whether or not you're from Milwaukee.
Bring a dish.
What can I make? This party's in like 3 hours.
About the tortillas, mijo.
Yeah, tortillas.
And if you add some Oaxaca cheese, they come out perfect.
Okay. Cheese, Chihuahua, Oaxaca.
¿Qué tan picoso crees que les guste?
This'll work. Need some spices. Guajillos. Ooh, need this. Throw that in. And that. Yeah. El Rey. Your next great meal starts here.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Blair, Olympic speed skater and winner of 5 Olympic gold medals and a proud resident of the Milwaukee area. If I have to think of a gold medal place somebody wants to see when they come to the Milwaukee area, you better go to the Pennant National Ice Center. People drive by it every day on the interstate, but when they get in there, they're totally amazed. Plus, you never know when you might find an Olympic speed skater training right in front of your very eyes.
In Milwaukee, style is not just clothes and kicks. It's about connecting communities, strengthening culture, and fostering pride in our diverse and unique heritage.
I've seen the journey, right, from family members traveling from Puerto Rico. I think about myself growing up and what I wanted to see in my community as far as a leader or a business owner, for them to just see that there's a business owner that they can relate to.
I love Milwaukee. I love the energy. I love the people. I love the lake. I want to be part of that fabric. Leela can be a place that people feel comfortable to come in, slow down, relax, and be happy. In a place that's just very frivolous. It's fashion. This is not, we're not saving lives. We're just having fun.
All Goods Fest is our Super Bowl every year. So we bring in over 60 vendors. We have food trucks. There's thousands and thousands of pieces of clothing for sale. It's like a big block party, and people come from all over because of the product quality and the price point for that event. The night market, it was a great time.
It's a party, right?
It really is. It had life to it, and there was music going on, there was dancing, there was food. There's something also about doing an event in the evening, right? When the sun comes down, and it's a different vibe. So to be a part of it and to put my booth right next to these other great Milwaukee vendors as well was really a great night.
People don't understand how much industry is here. They all, it's a blue collar town. Yeah, blue collar people are in industry. They're making the machines run. They're making everything go. They were part of the economy here that made the garment industry here what it is. And so this is a fashion hub in a sense, and it's very unexpected.
I love these institutions in Milwaukee, and I've been a fan of these sports teams. When we did the Brewers collaboration, we had over 700 vintage pieces, and we were able to be on that same level as the team store and be able to partner up with them. You know, Marquette and UW Milwaukee, these are our major universities here, and to be able to do events with them have been a dream come true.
Tell me a little bit about J Academy and why you started it.
So I have a store that's in the inner city of Milwaukee that's called Black Market. And then the whole George Floyd thing happened. I felt like that community didn't need another store. I feel like they needed resources, right? So we closed the store and then we turned it into J Academy. And inside of J Academy, we have like a couple heat presses, we have embroidery machines, nice computers. We got donated from Apple. We got some nice podcast stuff from Logitech and this other company, Rode. Got a couple teachers from Seaford Elementary, so they would come in and we started scheduling like tutoring time. We kept a small portion of J Academy a store because like when I teach them how to either make shirts or make their own hats or make their own shoes, I'm gonna teach them how to sell it too.
It's really important to have a sustainable business, right? To think about how you're playing a part in this, and through the clothing and kind of recycling it and having it have a second life creates my little part, my little ripple in society. And so it's super important for me to just be a role model, so to speak, in the community, because we've had a great past, but we have really great future as well.
I'm excited for you to help me find the perfect pair of kicks.
Okay. High top, low top.
You know, I'm really feeling more of a high top.
Okay. You got a color preference?
My favorite color is blue.
This high top, this blue.
Nice.
This is old school. This is old school.
I do love this.
And it is this one.
I feel like I could wear this in the winter and this in the summer.
There you go.
Perfect. The perfect two pairs of shoes for me. I love it.
Double sale for me.
Clicks is a goldmine of style and streetwear, some of which can only be found in Milwaukee. Sneak on over to visitmilwaukee.org to see a tour featuring some of Shake's favorite shoes.
There are so many great places to show people when they come to Milwaukee. We've got an amazing inland sea called Lake Michigan here. And it's not, just for industrial use as you would once upon a time see in the past. Milwaukee historically has done a great job of preserving access to the waterfront. So you can go from the south side, all the way up north to these incredible beaches, South Shore, McKinley, Bradford, down by the Art Museum, and have great access to Lake Michigan. I talk to people about the diversity that's in Milwaukee. Again, we've got some really, really incredible, rich, diverse neighborhoods all over the city, and you can find folks from literally all over the country and all over the world who call Milwaukee home, and that's evident in our neighborhoods. A hidden gem in Milwaukee that a lot of people across the country, I think, don't recognize is our amazing food scene. Like, we've got some great eats in Milwaukee that if you get the chance to go to our restaurants in Milwaukee, I think folks would be really, really surprised by what they encounter here.
From the biggest stages to the boldest flavors, Henry Meyer Festival Park is where every Milwaukee story begins. Home to Summerfest, the world's largest music festival, and a vibrant lineup of cultural celebrations, the Festival Park brings music, culture, and community together all season long. Big moments, bold traditions, unforgettable experiences. Experience Milwaukee's festival season at Henry Meyer Festival Park.
When you arrive ready for something good, you'll leave connected to something greater. Marquette University.
Individual style is about showing the world who you are, and Milwaukee has the wardrobe for everyone to share their own unique story.
Is there a fashion rule that you just always break? You don't care, you're just gonna break that fashion rule.
I don't really think there are rules. The only rule that you should follow is that it should be fun.
Yes.
You could have something that's $2 or you could have something that's $2,000. The beauty is putting it all together. Fashion requires you to just think outside the box and let's put something together, and everybody on the team here loves it when people are willing to let us do that. I'm also, though, very practical. Like, it has to have pockets and it has to be comfortable. I tell my customers, though, like, they'll come out and they're like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, it looks nice on you, but you don't look comfortable.
Yeah.
So take it off.
Not gonna be
Let's
good.
go back. Let's
Not
try
gonna
again.
be good.
We're kind of in a hub for vintage clothing, actually. So we got a lot of Harley Davidson, we got a lot of sports stuff. It's the history. It brings out the individual style out of everybody. Some people like to wear hats, hoodies, or t-shirts, but then the way that they put it together is what I get a lot of satisfaction out of.
Your given name is Eric, but of course, you're known as Shake.
Yes.
I'm just curious, how did that come to be?
Oh, man. So when I was in school, one day we had a substitute teacher. And so my friend said at the end of the class, can he rap? And the teacher was like, yeah. And so he started drumming on the desk. So then I started rapping. And then, everybody started going crazy. We was like, what did you think? And he said, that was very poetic, like a Hamlet or a Shakespeare. And I said, that's it. That's my new rap name. And they said, what? And I said, Hamlet. And it was like, no. It was like, what? It's like, nah, that's whack, nah. And then they was like, no, man, Shakespeare, because when we play basketball, you be shaking them. And I was like, oh, okay. So then Shakespeare, that's when it became Shakespeare.
I have to create the environment that if they are strong enough and willing to come here, just lay their feelings down on the table that I want to do this is my dream. I have to see to it that they get to do it. I had people in my orbit as a young person that facilitated everything I wanted to do. There were no holds barred. My parents, my grandparents would have seen that happen. I do realize there are people here that don't have that support. I have to become their support, and Edessa becomes their grandmother. The minute they walk through here, Edessa's their grandmother too. Are they humming? Are they sinking down or sitting up? You can feel energy. And I need them to connect with that equipment in a way that it becomes an extension of their hands.
When the store opened, I had a business partner, and so we landed on our two middle names, Lee and Lorraine, Leela. Fast forward to 2012, when I bought my business partner out, I was presented with a picture from my mom. I learned that I had a great-grandmother whose name is Leela Pearl.
Wow.
How weird,
that's
right?
crazy.
So like the evolution of the name.
It was
Leela
always
Pearl.
meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
I love the shoes you have on. Those have a story too, right?
Yes. Man, this is a very personal shoe. I was diagnosed with cancer. Your family always say, oh, I love you. We're gonna fight it. But when they roll you in the back, you by yourself.
Yeah.
There's probably only 5 people in the world that knew. And so I just felt like keeping that story into myself was me letting that story have control over me. And so I needed to take control and tell that story. People started messaging me, telling me like, yo, bro, I'm going through the same thing. Or, man, this happened to my dad. Like, somebody just told me that they only bought this shoe because their dad had cancer. He said, and what you said resonated with me. He said, so now when I wear this shoe, I'm gonna think about your story and I'm gonna think about my dad. Wow. And so it was about inspiring people, because it's just not health, it's your mental health too. We wanna be seen as strong and we can handle it and we can get it done. And sometimes it just ain't like that, and you need to talk to somebody. And like I said, so many people have been reaching out to me. I don't know how, but I need to keep the conversation going.
Show me around a little bit. Is there Any of your favorite things that you love right now in the store?
I feel like everybody's a little different, but we have something for everybody. Band tees are one of our best sellers just because people have the connection to the artist. They love the music. We got some really good Harley Davidson t-shirts, the Eagles, the motorcycles. Another aspect of vintage t-shirts is they did single stitch on the t-shirts, where a lot of the newer t-shirts are going to be having the double stitch right there. So that's one of the ways that you can know that it's a vintage t-shirt.
All the little details that are so important when you're vintage shopping, right?
Absolutely.
There is something for everyone here, and these are for me.
Yeah. We have a lot of great Milwaukee Bucks vintage pieces. The cool thing about it too is that you can kind of see like the progression of the logos and how it changed over the years. So we got the different colors, you got the red, you got the green, you got the purple.
You said this was like a painter style hat, which is so cool. How do I look?
Yeah, you look great. You look like you're ready for the Bucks game.
Fits, perfect. Let's go to the Deer District. I love that.
Actually, it fits.
Just down the road from All Goods, Ollie and I took a few shots at the world's first slingshot bar. World's first what, you ask? Head to visitmilwaukee.org to learn more.
Why I love Milwaukee? Oh my gosh, it's home. It's the second home. This is where people fell in love with me from day one. Just to be able to have this community support you in everything you do. I mean, I think about my career and over the last 26 years, Milwaukee has really just brought me in and supported me through every single step of the way.
When you arrive ready for something good, you'll leave connected to something greater. Marquette University.
Milwaukee's unique character extends far beyond style and sneaks. Sidewalks, storefronts, neighborhoods, and lakefronts all offer a distinct experience and countless places to explore.
Shake, I am so excited because earlier this year, you released a super cool collaboration with Visit Milwaukee and Summerfest. I cannot wait to see the shoes.
This is the Samba with Visit Milwaukee and Summerfest. And then it has a map of the city. So we tried to get all of the city. We got Harambe, River West. We tried to get everybody on there. It ended up working out. Yeah, it ended up working out.
Upper East Side,
It ended up
Lake
working
Park.
out.
A little map on your feet.
There you go. There you go. We're gonna have a chip installed in each shoe, right? So if you have the shoe, that will be your ticket into Summerfest.
No way. So
Yeah.
you can be wearing your Milwaukee Samba.
There you go.
And get into Summerfest.
And get into Summerfest. They gonna hit the and you're right in there. That's your ticket. You gotta get the shoes.
You gotta get your Samba.
Gotta get your shoes.
It's like a VIP access.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love that.
I love when people love Milwaukee even half as much as I do. We all have our hot list of places to send people. A lot of different things for many different types of people who are visiting. You definitely need to go visit the public market. Definitely need to go see the small shops on Broadway. Or, oh, have you been to our theaters? We have amazing theater for you.
I was asked 2 days ago, what is your favorite street in Milwaukee? And I said Broadway. The sidewalk cafes and all the boutiques, we do field trips where we walk a block and go look at what new Anthropologie has and what new, Leela has. There's always something different to see, something artistic.
Going to the different holiday events around the holidays, there's these traditions that we have in our city that I love to have my family be a part of.
I went to this showroom in New York. They showed me the hoodies, they showed me the shirts, they showed me the pants, and so over there, they had the shorts. I said, well, can I see the shorts? He said, why you want to see the shorts? Y'all don't even have water in Milwaukee. That's what he told me.
The lakefront, it's one of our
I'm
best
like, we off the Great Lakes. I'm like, is you crazy?
From our sports teams to the food to the little shops like mine, like the boutique shops. It's like a unique experience.
I really do love supporting Refresh Vintage. Bandit is another favorite place for me. Unfinished Legacy is a great discovery in our neighborhood that I love to have. Moda 3, they have a good vibe, and I really enjoy that.
I love to go to the different events that are going on, sporting events, going to a Bucks game, going out to eat before. People come here for our festivals and have a great time, and they realize how great of a city it is.
Our art museum brings an awful lot of people, and so they come with museums in mind. But I have to say, I send people to the Haggerty and to the Groman Museum. I think those are really great.
Even some of my friends that I brought here, once they get here, going out to Summerfest and seeing the festivals, then they like, man, I want to come back. I was like, I told y'all.
We will go on pizza crawls for a whole day. We'll just go and have pizza at 3 or 4 different places and have a couple slices and then move to the next one.
Wow.
Transfer, Proof Pizza in the St. Kate and Calderon Club. I do send people to the foundation. Like they're in town and I'm like, I know. And many people want to go to the Safe House or, I'm like, okay, I get it. You read about all these places on TripAdvisor, but this one you probably didn't, so go here.
Yeah,
so
see? It's like your Leela concierge.
People here are definitely welcoming. They're open to collaboration.
I got a friend that's right now, he's trying to convince it. They live in Atlanta. He's trying to convince his wife to move here. Like the world can see it now.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, there's something going on in Milwaukee now.